So, last session, your group had been continuing your journey down the Solenka Pass after encountering this group of frozen hags and camping for the night and being visited by a winter spirit as most of you slept. Lane had a disturbing dream, and then when she awoke for her time on watch, her and Nikari spotted the large dragon Glaciax from the Shadowfell was flying not far away from your current location. They put out the campfire and continued to watch him through the night, noticing that he broke off towards the north. To what ends you have still not determined. You traveled, you continued down the path until you came to the narrow ravine among the mountains that the hags had their cave, or had their home made into a cave, and found they'd used an illusion to try and disguise the entrance to their cave, and one of their large Remoraz pets as a guard. And after fighting them and their pets in their own home, you found that one of them was conducting some kind of powerful spell in the back of the cave, and after getting struck quite heavily by one of Harkem's shots, her concentration on the spell broke, causing an extreme explosion in the back of the cave and collapsing it on her. You searched around the cave and found Vortak's body encased in a sheet of ice, which Lane then broke free his hand in order to revive him later and save space. Harkem harvested some Remoraz bodies, and I believe that's essentially what occurred.
Well,
And we have
we
the
wake up
Guardian.
and we just see Lane holding Vortak's hand.
Aww, cute. And we had the Eternal Guardian keep watch.
Oh yeah,
And
there's
that
a
is-
zombie that guards that cave now.
Oh yes, one of them was raised by Nero to guard the cave from any entering. But that is where we start tonight's session. Traveling along the Solenka Pass. Let me make sure our clock's right here. The time, it is a little past noon as you are traveling. Still a bit of distance from what you can remember till you reach the next big landmark that you recall, the bridge, which was collapsed during the battle.
Yeah, the battle.
That's
was
what
a battle.
collapsed it.
Well, I didn't. I said collapsed during the battle.
It definitely wasn't just some lunatic just wanting to practice shatter on things.
Not nice to talk ill of the dead.
He'll be alive soon. I can talk shit to his hand for now.
His hand just curls up into a middle finger.
See Lane's bag shake.
Honestly, that would be so freaking funny. The resurrection doesn't quite make it, but he is. It's a very get just
A
a
very
hand.
animated hand.
His hand, yeah.
Just gonna play Vortak as cousin It from now on.
Oh goodness. So you are making your way through the Salanka Pass. I'm trying to look at the map for something. Give me one moment. This map takes significantly longer to come up.
I blame that one guy.
I do too.
We also blame that one guy.
He's a good guy to blame.
We blame
Damn
Steven,
you,
right?
that guy.
That's we're all on that page.
Oh, I was gonna put a name to that guy, but I'm gonna blame that guy.
Okay, you continue north for the next few hours. Whoever is, I guess, leading the move forward, give me a survival check.
I'll lead.
Very brave of you.
25.
Okay. 25. You don't have any trouble sticking to the road, but you do notice during your travel some creatures flying about the trees. And at first they look like birds, and it makes sense, as you would expect there to be birds. However,
Oh, this cold.
closer inspection reveals that these are bats. You see bats flying around in about the middle of the day, starting to wind into the later afternoon. As you're getting about within a mile of this bridge, you see them flitting through the trees quite silently, and not in large groups, but just small numbers, 1 and 2 here and there, and you notice them as you're traveling along.
I shoot one.
Sure, give me an attack roll.
I have a lot of stuff in my inventory. 23?
Okay, your arrow flies out, strikes into the bat, kills it. It is 100% dead. Your arrow pierces. Well, I guess it's a gust of air, right? So it just shoots.
I'm gonna use a normal arrow because I want to go get it.
Okay. There's a bat.
Does it look weird? Anything? No, I've seen bats before.
Give me a nature check.
Oh, frick. 18.
Looks like a bat.
It
Looks like a
look like a bat.
looks like a normal bat. There's nothing really special about it. Looks a little bigger than the bats you've seen in Harakir, but bats aren't extremely numerous in Harakir.
I'll go back.
Maybe they have a better ecosystem here for supporting bats.
The way you say that.
What do you mean?
I'll go back to the crew. Kind of waving it, and they
Is that a normal bat?
were there bats here on the way down? I don't remember seeing any. Is this significant to anyone?
It's my first time coming through here.
I feel like we would have noticed that.
I didn't notice any.
Kind of peel it off the arrow. I don't have a lot of arrows left.
Okay.
Well, I guess we continue on then. If nobody knows anything about this, let's go.
Okay.
I will
about a
keep my
mile.
eye towards where they're flying around, though.
Okay. I was just saying, like, you see them as you are traveling over this time period.
That-
You see 1 and 2 on the side of the road, but you can keep your eyes peeled for more if you would like.
Bats are a bad omen.
Okay.
Let's spend 3 hours just trying to investigate the bats.
Aren't they everywhere though?
They weren't on the way down. And it's, like you said, middle of the day.
It is the middle of the day, yes.
Oh. Okay. Fair enough. Feel a little weird.
Does it look like a vampire bat?
Give me a nature check.
I don't do those.
Looks like a vampire bat. I'd say
Do
you
I
have
anything-
enough I would say you have enough familiarity with that a 10 tells you that that's a vampire bat.
Do I know anything about vampire bats? Are they numerous in my hometown?
They are fairly present in a lot of places in Darkon. You'd know they typically travel in like a swarm. Large cloud of bats swooping down.
Okay.
You continue your journey about a mile from the bridge, heading up to it. Everyone give me a perception check.
No.
Unless you're not looking, then you don't have to.
Oh, I'm looking.
I see nearly everything.
Okay. It's a little hard for Nakari and Ra to see. Everyone else, you're able to make out these figures. Well, I guess Lane, you're able to make out these large figures up ahead in front of the bridge. Harkem and Nero, you can see them pretty clearly. These the large skeletal giants
Oh,
that had burst forth from the ground as you were leaving, and you fled from them.
Did it go back to sleep?
You see 3 of them are walking back and forth almost in like a pacing motion.
That's going to be a problem.
Wow. Nero's eating crackers as they walk.
Good travel ration.
Do you think we can find a way around them?
Do you think we could what?
Find a way around them. Go around them.
How?
And then I know the bridge is out anyway, so we're gonna have to find a way around it too.
How detailed is that map of yours?
Actually, it's pretty detailed. You want to look at it?
That would be nice. I can't remember where it is, though.
I think you have to click menu and then...
Oh, it's not in the notes
no, it's
anymore?
not in
That
there
makes
anymore.
sense. Okay, that's explains why I can't find it. I mean... Yes, we can... There's a forest to the north. We could go that way.
The bridge was pretty long, right? We're not gonna be able to just fly across the chasm. Not with what we have, I don't think. So.
Well, you did fly the horses across. And
Yeah,
lost the
just
cart.
not the cart.
Yeah, the cart didn't.
Yeah. Oh,
could
we don't have
probably
the
get the
card anyway.
We could probably get the cart back.
Yeah, it's still down there.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Maybe
take fall
we can-
damage.
Yeah. We can
Maybe
go
we
back.
can find a way down and then just kind of follow this river.
I'm not very good at swimming, and that's the other option. So yes, I'm good with that.
It looks like it'll take us out by where Perez was.
I'll go take a look real quick. Can I try to go, or carefully, I mean quietly, fly to the right of the bridge? To where looks like a little forest on the map here? See if we can, if I can find us a way down
Yeah,
around
give me...
those giant
Oh,
things.
oh man. I have to look at where you're looking at.
So like instead of going across, find a way up through this little forest area.
Yeah. Let me look and see. I should get that set to distance.
Yeah, it's only 10 feet. Should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Merely a skip in the right direction.
There's not even a scale. Oops.
Okay. I would say with your perception check and using the map, you can roughly pinpoint about where the ruins look like they sit in the valley to the north. It looks like somewhere around 10 to 15 miles out from your current location if it was a straight line. But it is quite a drop, so you would have to find a way for everyone to get down.
Yeah, that's
how
what I'll
far are
look
you
for.
wanting? How far are you wanting to scout out?
I mean, just I'll keep going till I find a path down. Quietly though, where I don't get seen, and where I know that they won't be seen, as they're not very sneaky, if possible. They're still real far away, right? They wouldn't be able to see around me.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
You got really quiet. I got scared.
he's looking up stuff. Oh, never mind. They're both dead.
Uh-oh.
Rip.
You broke the code.
I broke the code. I think it's, no, wouldn't be both of them, I don't think.
Nah, that happened at the router. For them to both go offline, I think.
Their public router.
Right at the router?
A router, yeah.
Found a dragon. In a dungeon.
What is this? Tales
what?
of franchise sale. Oh my god.
What
was that now?
franchise?
Tales of.
I don't know what
Tales
that is.
of?
I already have all these in my library.
Oh.
Not this one. That's 90% off for $5. Oh my god.
Hello?
Oh, join him. This one's 80% off. Fuck yeah, we're buying that right now.
Huh?
I love the Tales of game.
I don't know why my brain ever. You said Tales of. My brain keeps going to like. I don't know why I'm thinking of Fable.
A what?
Was it Fable? Yeah, Fable.
Oh, I love Fable.
I totally wish they would make like a multiplayer co-op Fable.
I mean, that's kind of what Fable 3 was.
They like ruined Fable. Like for some reason, something happened with the studio that they like cannot make Fable games anymore because of some legal bullshit.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Fable 3 was really good.
Yeah.
Original Fable was so good. I played it twice, good and evil. It was so good. Had all my wives.
Hello.
Hey!
Hello.
Sir.
I have to bring up Foundry again.
Oh wait, there is a new Fable coming.
No way.
I don't think so.
Yeah, remember that stupid fucking fairy, the trailer with the fairy?
Yeah, but I think that it's done. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Everything's
Maybe
saying
it will.
It
I
doesn't
don't know.
say anything.
Fable 4, September 2022. Maybe they worked it out.
For the Xbox Series X. What a dumb name.
Oh.
Coming day 1 to Game Pass. Oh wow.
Yeah, but if it's on Xbox, it's on PC too. So like that's fine.
I just meant like it's coming to the Game Pass first day. Or that should
Oh.
end. That's just what
They've
their
been
website
doing
said.
they've been doing that a lot recently with games, I think.
Yeah.
Putting it like right on the Game Pass.
Yeah. At least not major titles. Which I don't think Fable qualifies as a major title anymore. I mean, sure, the original version was revolutionary, but what have you done for me lately? Anyway, I'm back. I don't know exactly where we were. You were scouting out. I was going to ask you how far out you wanted to scout ahead.
And I responded with as far out as I can find a path. I'm looking for a path where I know my less stealthy party members still won't take notice of the large, angry skeleton people.
Well, heading off that direction, the only way down is going to be climbing or flying. That is immediately apparent. There does not appear to be another path that just leads down. There are some spots that aren't quite as craggy as the others, not quite as sheer of cliff faces, but it is going to be climbing or flying or other alternative. This seems to be the only like actual traversable path down the mountain.
Then I will find the best way possible down the mountain.
Okay, best way possible. Give me a survival check, and that's gonna determine how hard it is for everyone to climb down if they're climbing.
18. 19, sorry.
Okay.
That don't. It
How
does that
hard
one.
could it possibly be to
It's actually a 10.
climb down with a giant viney horse?
The horse. Anyone who's like owns the knows the horse is whoever's riding the horse is probably going to be fine.
Oh.
Ivy seems to be quite adept at moving along or vertical surfaces.
That's cool.
Me too. Someone else could. If someone else is not a good climber, they could take Ivy down. I can literally walk down the wall.
For how long?
Probably me.
Forever.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
God, I just can't get away from this horse, man.
Why are you trying to get away from the horse?
Because he's got a panther, or had a panther, and now he doesn't want it anymore, but now the panther's gone.
I'm gonna roll out one of my balls, too.
Okay.
As we're going down through here.
Roll one of your balls.
Ooh, well, I think that's like a
I don't know
Boar?
what that is.
boar. Is it a boar?
I don't know.
It
I
is
think
a
boar
boar,
was
yeah.
boar, because it rhymed. It is boar?
Yeah, 4 is badger.
Yeah.
Badger.
I'm so smart.
Oh wait, no, wait, I'm stupid. Hold on, let me. Look
Yeah,
at
you
this.
are.
What is this? Where's my character sheet?
I'll show them
It's
the
not-
path I found. Not
Okay.
great, but it's pretty
does-
pretty good.
It does look as if Harkem has found a not horrible path to potentially traverse down for those of you that are more terrestrial lucked than the Aarakocra brothers. That's a giant rat, by the way.
Aarakocra brothers.
I mean, I can try walking down the wall, but I don't know if it's gonna work out that well.
I'll stay near to help anyone.
Lane stands by the cliffside, throws out a ball, and it turns into a giant rat.
I'll just sigh, get on. I'll just get on Ivy and then go down the hill.
Leaving your
I'll just
rat
walk.
above.
I'll just walk down the wall.
Does it look like Oseus would have a problem?
Yes. It would definitely be difficult. He cannot traverse it himself because he does not have hands. It's I would say at least 85-degree angle cliff face, almost sheer vertical. And
Right,
it's
I'll-
quite icy.
I'll get off of him and like dismiss him.
Okay.
You can like tie ropes to him and hold him, and as he goes down, we'll like kind of make sure he doesn't fall.
How much does it say?
No,
Stay?
it's fine.
Okay.
You see Oseus kind of just walk off into the woods.
Oh, bye. Where's he going?
He seems to get out of sight pretty quick because you lose track of him almost as soon as he hits the wood line. He is just gone.
He'll meet back up with us later.
Well, would you like a lift down then?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, fly her down.
Okay. Doing it yourself is going to be a
I
little
will-
difficult.
Ask Ra to help me fly her down.
Her
Alright.
armor and stuff makes her a little bit heavy for your 10 strength
You
to carry
take
while
an
flying.
arm, and
She
I'll take
does
her
have-
legs.
Plate armor, yes. What? No,
No, she's in
what?
chainmail. She's in chainmail.
Oh, heavy
I
armor.
just have a really big shield.
But is it a
Yeah, she's got a
bikini
big shield.
chainmail?
Wait. If you were to
No.
put that in your inventory, would that reduce how much you actually weigh?
That's
No, it weighs
not
less when
how
you're wearing
physics
it.
works.
Damn.
Oh,
Bag of
shit.
holding then.
I'll cast levitate on Nakari.
We're just gonna fly her down.
I know, but she'll be lighter now.
Yeah, but we can just fly her down together.
She can't fly, but she'll float down and you can just aim her.
Teamwork. How about a guided fall then?
Okay. So Lane, you were riding Ivy down then?
Yeah.
Okay. As you come to the edge of the cliff and urge Ivy down, her vines come out from her legs, attach into the side of the wall, almost like roots burrowing in to the icy cliffside, and she just starts walking down the edge. The rat jumps off the
That is
cliff,
so
lands on
cool.
Ivy, and clings on to the plant horse behind you, squeaking.
For dear life.
Nero goes complete horizontal, just takes a step out and walks down the side, casting Levitate on Nakari, who is easily directed down this cliffside by the two of you.
I don't think flying is as helpful in this place as it is in our home.
Where are you from?
Harakir. The city of the dead.
Altogether, it doesn't take you too long to get down the cliff. A little bit over. Actually, I would say with Nero walking, it does slow down a little bit, but just a little over an hour gets you all the way down by the frozen river. You can see about a half mile off from where you end up coming down from the cliff by the frozen river is the location where the bridge hangs overhead. You see glimpses of the large skeletal giants walking around, pacing back and forth on the one side closest to you. And you see on the opposite side also another one appears to be standing up against the towers with a large rock in his hands.
And they're that big, like they can stand the whole way up.
I'm sorry, what?
They stand the whole way up to the bridge.
What do you mean?
The giant.
Like as tall as the towers? They're about 15. The giants are a little over 15 feet tall.
Oh, I was picturing like massive giants, not just.
No, they're not that huge.
Oh, well, we
No.
could have fucking taken that.
You'd seen them before. They were like about 15 feet tall.
Oh. It's way less exciting then. Oh well, we're already here.
Okay, so
Oh,
you're
no,
down
To the
here by
ruins.
Monsters.
by the frozen river. You're going to follow it north to the ruins.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Or at least until we find a safe place to cross back over and meet back up with the road. I'm gonna start summoning Oseo, so I'll just kind of like say something in Celestial.
Okay.
Should we go up that way, or should we cross this way and go back to the other front of the bridge? Go
Is the
that
river
way.
still? Is it still frozen?
Yes, it is still frozen.
We could just go across, and then be back on the Solinka path.
Ooh.
Or we
Maybe
could
we
go.
walk up the river to Argynvost Hold.
Well, we'd have to go all the way around. There's like a cliffside. We couldn't go this way last time. We had to go all the way around.
Oh, is there?
But we could just go across the river to the pass. Find a nice area to cross.
I guess it's about the same, no matter.
That
if
way
we
we
take
can
the
go
path.
up this road to the tower. Yeah, let's do that.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, yeah, we'll just find a place to cross the river. Can I inspect it? Make sure nothing is fucky about it?
Give me a perception check.
Like, seems like someone with plate mail or chainmail could cross. Perception.
It looks like it's not extremely solid ice. This river seems to lead further west off into a large lake. The lake itself doesn't look completely frozen from here. You can see spots where the water is broken up. It leads you to believe that this isn't completely solid ice, like the river that you had crossed in the mountains, which was a lot more intact. This one might give under someone heavy or something.
Well,
Poop.
let's continue north then. Find a safer way to cross.
We
Gets
travel.
colder as we go north, right?
What's that?
It gets colder as we go north, right? Or no, colder as we go south?
It was colder as you went south, but you were also going into the mountain, so like that was a big part of it.
I mean, we could just fly everybody across one by one. How long is the river? It's not that long, right?
It looks about 60 to 80 feet. It's not terribly long or terribly wide, no.
I mean, it'll take a little bit, but we can definitely get everyone across that way.
Yeah, let's just
I
do
could
that.
probably carry one other person across as well. So I think we can. I think we have everybody covered.
Yeah.
Let's go on one trip. As long as you keep your torches away from me. Anyways.
It's not dark yet.
Oh shit! Never mind.
Planned, ruined.
Alright, who wants to go first?
Would you like me to cast levitate on anyone that you're flying over so it's lighter for you?
Nero's first.
Let's go.
How cold is the water?
How cold is the water? Well, it's got a thin sheet of ice over the top of it.
So about
It's pretty
32.1.
pretty freezing.
Me and Rob will fly everyone over one by one.
Okay. Everyone makes it to the other side of the river.
Procyon and Ivy.
And Ivy is still on the other side. As you pick up Lane off the horse, her rat jumps onto her shoulder.
That
Gross.
fucking thing. It's like huge too, though.
Yeah, it's a giant rat.
It jumps
Like
on her
weighing
back
us
like
down.
a backpack and like squeaking.
It's an
Don't leave
oversized
me, Squeak!
possum.
I love you, Master.
It's roughly the size of a dog.
Oh wow.
I mean,
Well, a smaller
haven't-
dog, not like a medium-sized dog, a smaller dog. As you get over to the other side, you see coming out from the frost-covered trees, Oseus walks out, seemingly as if he's been there the whole time. Walks up towards Nakari. Ivy is still on the other side of the river.
How the hell?
Do we get that horse across the river?
Can your...
I
Can it
think
do
horse
the...
can get itself across the river.
Can it do that vine thing across the water? Can it swim?
I'll just wave at it to tell it to come. Tell
What if
Ivy
it
to
runs
go.
really fast?
Okay. Whoever owns Ivy, roll a d20 for me.
Who actually owns Ivy?
Vortex.
I don't have.
Who has Ivy's character?
Well, I'm just saying, either Lane or Nero roll a d20 then. Whichever one of you wants to like have that responsibility.
Oh, that's not good.
You didn't let me roll.
Okay.
I was on my way.
Oh.
You can roll. That's fine.
Lane already rolled, so we're gonna take the 12, which is good. Makes it across most of the way. Roll another d20.
Oh shit.
The ice
Alright,
seems to hold.
You take this one, Nero.
No, you've already started it.
Oh no.
Last time we did this, I lost the cart.
You see the ice crack beneath Ivy, and she starts to fall into the water, just 15 feet away from the edge.
I'll
Oh,
run out and grab her. I'm pretty fucking strong. What can I do to make her levitate? Where's my character sheet?
I'll fly over and help him grab her.
Okay, you rush forward. Give me a strength check with advantage because you are being helped.
Let me know if you need assistance.
Control click? Shift click?
Shift click.
Oof, good thing I had a
Oh my god.
Okay, you rush forward, Ivy thrashing about as the ice cracks underneath her and she starts to sink into this frozen water. Her vines lash out towards you, and you reach forward, they wrap around your arms, and you pull her free. You feel the ice beneath your feet starting to crack as the hole widens and splinters outward. You and Harkem, pulling on Ivy, manage to get her free and over towards the edge just as the rest of the ice crack towards the shoreline. She is going to take a little bit of cold damage, though. Oof.
that didn't sound like a little bit.
A little bit of
nine cold damage. It's a lot. It's a lot to a horse.
That's a lot of cold damage.
But you do make it to the other side with her. Little bit of frozen ice still attached to her vines from being submerged briefly, but you are all now on the northern side of the river.
We did it, yay.
I guess let's find the bird and head back up.
To the tower.
So how are we going up there?
Carefully.
And
Fastly.
which direction are you heading?
Up
Like
the path.
towards.
Up to Solenka, the way we came down.
So you're going. Well, I mean that's up the mountain again.
Well, like the path that led up to the bridge on the other side. We want to find that and go back up the road.
Yep.
Okay. You can tell from this northern side that it does go back up the mountain. So you would have to climb up, which
That's
will take
fine.
a good deal longer.
Oh, it's sort of
than-
big chasm, right? Like this is a big chasm where
Yes.
the river is running.
This
through.
is a valley where the river runs through. This is a big valley.
So, can I ask real quick, if we hit this dotted line, if we follow the frozen river, or if we follow the river up this to this dotted line, like south of Argynvost, is there is a wall there that we're not going to be able to get up into Argynvost, right?
Well, okay, like meta knowledge. If you would ask, if you're asking like Dresley because she knows the area,
Oh, that's a good idea.
she would
yeah.
know. There was a path up from the ruins that led to Argynvost.
Mm. But this is flat land, so we would be able to go like to the ruins from here.
You're muted.
No, I think we're like right here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So we can't get back up the road. We have to kind of like go this.
So like we
Yeah,
could
to
go
get back
through
up
the.
to the Solenka Pass is a climb up the mountain, but it looks like level ground along the river. Maybe a little bit of an uphill because it seems the river flows from over there, but it's not anything insane.
Okay, let's go to the ruins.
Not a
then.
40-degree wall that we're
No.
gonna have to go.
No, it's not a climb. It's just a bit of a wall.
I'll get to the ruins.
Everyone is heading off to the ruins then?
Absolutely.
Yeah, can I, like, quickly write a note and send Oseos back to Zalika Pass?
Back to Solenka Pass, where?
I want him to go to the skull doctor.
Okay. What are you writing on the note?
A message for Doll to let Oseos escort her to the tower.
Okay. Okay. You write this note as you are traveling, and you're sending Oseus off to the Skullduggery?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him to make a bunch of noise out there and, like, I don't know, kick at the door so they know to come to him.
Okay. He starts to walk off after taking your note. You travel for another. That's minutes. Travel for another 2 hours, and it starts to get dusk as the sun seems to set behind the thick wall of mist that covers the sky of Barovia. The almost inaudible noise of the water rushing slowly, or as you learned, quite rapidly underneath the thin layer of ice that, as you have started to travel further this direction, seems to have broken up at different spots, look a lot thinner. There are a lot of different breaks and forks in the river that seem to run off into little streams, causing the ice to not be quite as solid. You still have not quite sighted the area where the ruins are, but you've noticed that the ground around you does appear to be a lot more swamp-like.
Oh, thank God.
Swamp-like.
Yes,
In the
very
wi- in the
spongy
wind.
feeling underneath your feet. That when your talons touch, you get the thick mud in between them that kind of clings to your toes, you know.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it's freezing. Fucking hell.
Start flying.
Okay.
Harkem, can you maybe fly up pretty high and see if you can see towards Argynvost? See if there's, like, the lights are on or anything like that. I don't know if the weather's good enough for it, but
See if
I
the
think we-
lights are on.
As you
Yeah,
have
like
come
maybe
down
something.
from the Solenka Pass, sorry, but the weather does seem, the snow seems to have died down significantly. No longer as heavy as it was before.
Yeah, just to see if anyone's there, if there's maybe, you know, light coming from there other than the beam in the sky.
Oh, I'll fly really fast up in the air.
Okay.
Double dash.
Give me a perception check, and what exactly are you trying to perceive?
Lights, I guess.
You
Okay.
flew off too fast.
24.
And if anybody's home at the Argabus hole.
You see a very bright light around Argynvostholt. The bright blue orb of light that was shining there that you had seen previously, and as you've been traveling along the Zvalich road past the ruins, still seems there, floating in the air.
I can see the ruins now too, though.
You're really far away. You can't make out anything of the ruins.
But I can see
you
where
can't
they
even
are.
really tell it's a pile of rubble, but you
Oh.
can see the blue light that is, over there.
Over the ruins? No,
Yeah,
no, sorry.
it's-
I can see the ruins, the Berez ruins now.
The Berez ruins?
Yeah. Because we're not there yet, right? You said we're almost
With it
there.
being this dark, it's hard to make out.
Oh.
You can see some trees that definitely don't look like they're winter trees further up to the northeast a good bit. But
Wait, it's that dark already?
yes, it is turning dusk. So
Oh,
it is
man.
getting pretty dark here.
Alright, I'll fly back down. It's very dark. Can't really see. Big blue light's still there, though, if that's what you wanted. Oh, wait, but I can see that from here, too. I'll point at it.
Yeah,
If-
no, I've. Good.
If you would like to, once we reach Perez, there's like an old manor there. We can rest there for the night. Traveling up the path in the dark might be a little difficult.
Never stayed in a manor before.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. As we get closer to Argynvostholt, we saw the dragon fly in that direction. So I just want to make sure that we're extra careful and we're not surprised.
You think
By
the
that.
dragon would turn on the lights?
I don't know,
I
but
mean-
maybe whoever's riding them would.
Well, let's go find this manor.
What's the matter with you?
Oh my gosh.
I stab him.
Just took some psychic damage. Nero's head just explodes. All right, time to get Vortex
My
back
work
faster than
here
we
is
thought.
done.
Okay, another couple hours go by as you travel up this snowy riverbank. As you get closer or further north, you notice that the terrain seems to change quite severely in comparison. It's hard to notice at first because it's all covered in snow, but as you take a step out, your foot sinks almost to the knee in the thick mud of this swamp. You notice the trees around you, rather than being much straighter, pine trees twist and gnarl, and the unmistakable scent of a swamp. The thick mud and pungent odors that just fill the air in a bog hit your nostrils.
This place is gross.
Joke's on you guys, I don't breathe.
That makes two of you. Well, Nukari's breathing again. But that's
No, I'm not.
Oh.
She still doesn't breathe. But you do eventually reach this area with several snow-covered, what looks like they were remnants of structures at one point. Now are just stone half walls crumpled against each other with a thick layer of snow covering all of it. You do see up on a small hillside to the north of this river appears to be a very large stone manor, decrepit and crumbling in upon itself, but mostly intact. You can see the roof has almost no holes. Counting them, you see probably 2 that let snow fall into the building, but for the most part, it looks like an intact structure.
Is the graveyard still there?
Give me a yeah, I'd say you can find it since you know where it's at. Actually, you've been here before. Just north of this manor, you find you see the graveyard.
I'll do a quick circle around the area. Perimeter, that's the word.
Okay, give
Make
me
sure
a
nothing
perception
bad's
check.
there. Pew! 24.
You look out, surveying the area around. See a statue standing amidst the graveyard. But it looks like this place is pretty devoid of life. Completely empty, quiet, and still. And then you see something that catches your eye, just a quick glimpse of movement somewhere in the second story of the manor.
Did you guys see that?
I mean, I did. I don't know how you saw it.
I am looking through your eyes.
Weird. It's a interesting ability. Can you see through everyone's eyes all at once?
It's just I can do it through my familiar. My familiar is Eric Ogre.
I'll ask Nakari, is this
Gonna be awkward.
manor occupied? Does someone live here?
No one lives here that I know of. We didn't
think-
check the manor.
I think somebody's home.
Last time I was here, there was a big walking tree house.
I will just nod like, okay, yeah, walking tree house, sure.
Wasn't that was us that was there, right? If it was the witch's hut?
Yeah, the
Not-
witch's hut.
Yeah, because that's where Lane died the first time. No, that was...
No,
That was-
no.
Not
That was
us.
before we all died.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's right before Argynvost. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was thinking...
that's where Tem died.
Tam.
First time.
Man, fuck that guy.
I'll light a torch and quietly go investigate where I saw the moving creature.
Okay.
I assume it's super dark in there.
Yes, it is. Okay. You going in through the front door? You going in through the window?
You said there's no holes on the top, right?
There's a couple holes in the roof.
Oh, if there's
Yeah,
if
but
there's
there-
one somewhere nearby where it was, yeah, I'll fly in through a hole. Superhero
Okay.
landing with the torch.
You fly down into the hole, streaking with the torch in your hand, and land in there. Looking around, you don't see anything that first looks like... Sorry. That looks like what you had seen, any movement or figure. You see what appears to be a pretty destroyed room. All of the stuff, the furniture that was here, is now rotted wood, and it all seems to be stacked in the southwestern corner of the room, almost as if it was all thrown there suddenly and just collided with the wall. Then you see something move, and it catches your eye. You recognize this as the same shape. Spectral form steps forth from the wall, taking the form of a man. His features appear mutilated, and his chest is ripped open, his entrails hanging out. The apparition looks at you and says, "Why do you invade my home? Be gone, I beseech you."
That's all I see is just a specter.
Looking over him, you notice that his form, while shifting and incorporeal, appears to have ears that are pointed, marking him to be an elf.
Oh, he's an elf, a dead elf. Not an illusion or anything, right? It's actually a ghost.
He looks like a ghost. He looks like a real legitimate ghost.
Sorry. I'll leave.
Okay.
Go back. Yeah, it's super haunted in there. There's a ghost that told me to leave his house.
Oh.
Or maybe we can ask him if we could just stay the night.
That would have been the smarter thing to... Alright, I'll go back.
I'll go. Up
Is
there
anybody
and
more
go through the
better at
front door.
talking to ghosts?
Okay, you go in.
I'll
up
show
the
her where it
stone
was.
stairs.
The
You-
Phantom Rogue doesn't want to talk to the ghost.
It was angry. I don't want to talk to the angry ghost. Just like a person. I don't want to talk to a person that just starts yelling at me. Say,
I
get out of
kinda
my house.
just-
I did invade his house. Oh, should we knock first?
I already told you
knock
once
first.
before.
You knock first.
Yeah, we knock first.
Okay, you knock first. There's no response.
I think
I
that
must
means
not be home
come
anymore.
in.
Is the door open?
It's not. It doesn't seem like it fully closes. It's hardly hanging on the hinges. This is a weather-worn and beaten door. It is.
Like me as a
Pretty rough.
child.
So you enter in to the large manor. As you come inside to the house, you see a very similar pattern, Harkem, to what you've seen upstairs. All the furniture in this main area seems to have been thrown against one corner of the room and left in a huge pile.
Yeah, all the wood's like in
Um,
the corner, like it was pushed by an evil spirit. Or nice spirit.
As you
Right.
make your way towards the stairway, you see coming out from the ceiling overhead, drifting down towards you. "Why are you still haunting me? Leave my home, please."
I'll
We
nudge
just need
Nakari.
somewhere to stay for the night. It's dark outside and it's not safe.
You see a very sad look across his face, and he says, "There's nowhere safe in Barovia." And then,
that
Nakari,
the
there's
truth?
something that flashes through your mind suddenly and very aggressively as you look upon the image of this elf, his chest ripped open, in the afterlife, still damaged severely, as if whatever killed him carried on. It's an image of him looking over you and berating you, telling you, "I refuse. You will never see him again. Do you understand me? It is unacceptable. We cannot have that. You're better than this. You're the Burgomaster's daughter." And then another sudden flash of a memory. You see a figure of an elf. Long white hair, gray skin. He holds your hands in his, and he says, "Just leave with me tonight. We can go and be free of this place." And you say, "I just need one more night. I'll convince my father. Trust me." And then another flash. and you see the same memory of the wood piled beneath your feet and the flames rising up about your body. And this individual looking at you, tears flowing down his face, but a very stoic look as his eyes meet yours. You recognize this man to be the father of a past life when you were Marina Ulrich. And then you hear a voice inside your head. He betrayed you. Betrayed your trust. Your father. And still, he is here. The ghost, floating in the air, waves his hands around, and he says, I've not much to offer in the form of hospitality. But if you can confine yourselves to this room, you can take shelter from the night.
Is there something we can do to help you? What binds you here?
Old mistake. He turns away and starts to float up into the
What
ceiling.
mistake?
He turns and he looks. I didn't act soon enough. And then he shakes his head after he seems to look off into space, thinking heavily. He shakes his head and floats.
It's a very, melancholic spirit. Well, he said we could stay, so good job on that one. I don't think he wants to be helped. It sounds like he's going through some sort of penance. Usually spirits are fine with you helping them, free them, or whatever. Or they just attack you outright.
As long as we stay in this one room, we're fine.
Yes.
Yeah, he said we can stay in this room, but you can stay. I'm gonna go find him. I think I need to talk to him more.
Do you like help? I'm kind of good with the spirit stuff.
Did a great job earlier.
I mean, I didn't anger it. He asked me to leave and I left.
Okay. Oh, you got me there.
He seems a little more cooperative now, though. But if you want to handle something, you go for it.
You can come if you'd like.
Maybe I can find some way to help free him from this place.
I think I know why he's sad or maybe stuck here.
You do? Do you know him? Does Nakari have pointy ears?
Nakari does not have pointy ears.
I look at her ears.
In a past life.
You remember your past lives?
I get flashes. I'm used to it. It was just kind of random and no context, but it seems like since the Ember Temple, there's a lot more detail, I guess.
I wish I remembered my past lives. Alright, let's go.
Oh, to dream of being a drumstick.
What?
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 A worm that was eaten by an Aarakocra.
Oh, drumstick, got it.
Okay, you make your way up the crumbling stone stairs of this manor. And Harkem leads you to the room where you had originally seen the spirit. And he apparates out from the wall, soft moan following him.
Before I go in, I'm gonna crush one of my trinkets and use Ghost Walk. That way I look more like a ghost, and maybe he'll be more hospitable towards me as well.
Okay. As you enter into the room and he appears through the wall, he says, "Can I get no rest? I had implored you to stay downstairs, and here you are in my chamber."
Can I remove my hood so my face shows?
Okay. Take your hood off, and you see the ghost's eyes go wide. "Marina, you look so different. What has happened to you?" And he floats forward.
Marina died that night. My name's Nakari. But I think we need to talk.
I do not know what we could need to talk about. My town, my people, my home, it is all gone now, and I am but a shadow of who I was. What could I possibly give you?
I'm just getting kind of sad. I think maybe I can try to help you.
He turns towards you. A look crosses his face, almost of like excitement. For a brief second, you see it, and then it fades, and his brows furrow. A flash of anger crosses his face. Another trick from the devil Strahd. Another attempt. It's very good, Baron. I see right through your ruse. See him shaking his finger angrily at Nakari as he says this.
Oh, she's not with the Baron. Neither of us are. We're not fans of his. See, look, I'm kind of a spectral like you, not the Baron. I'll float around the room.
And possibly he has sent you and this avian person to
That is very racist.
torment me and make my time on this plane even more horrendous.
I don't want to make it more horrendous. And I absolutely want to destroy Strahd.
Would I know if ghosts are affected by poisons?
Ghosts
Of
are
the
not
powdered
affected by
variety.
poison of any sort.
That would make sense. They can't inhale it. Yep, that makes sense.
Yes.
What about
What about
if I throw a rock at
spectral
it?
poison?
They have a poison that makes people, or the inhalant that makes you friends. I was always looking for a place to use it, but now he's a ghost. I'll agree with Nakari, shake my head, say... Or just agree with her.
You said you didn't act soon enough. What did you mean by that?
I should have gotten her away from him sooner. I knew something was off about that elf, and he bewitched her, tricked her, messed with her mind. The devil Strahd hiding amidst all of us. He tried to take my dear daughter from me, and I had to purify her.
Oh.
To save her from him.
And that's when he raised the river?
Say again.
I said, and that's when he raised the river?
You see, it almost looks like a river itself trying to pour out from his eyes as you mentioned them. Tears continuously just pouring down the sides of his face. It was not my fault. It had to be done. Their deaths do not fall on me, they fall on Strahd.
Does it sound like he believes what he's saying?
Your passive insight, he wants to believe what he's saying, but he does not seem as if he does.
I'll nudge Nakari. He doesn't believe what he's saying.
I don't know, I'm not very good at this. So, what can I do to help you find rest? Because just haunting this house isn't helping you.
You're
There is no
obviously lying
rest.
to yourself.
No rest here in this land. Not ever.
Not yet.
You hear a voice in the back of your head, Nakari. It sounds like your voice, but it seems to take on a different accent. It sounds similar to the accent the elf himself has. And it says, "He doesn't deserve our mercy. End him." And you feel your hand clench in a fist, almost so tight that your nails dig into the skin.
Wait, when you say purify, what did you do to her?
He burned me.
Wait, you? Your past life?
Yes.
You see a look of pure shame cross the Spectre's face.
Do
As
I
his head
know
hangs down.
why a spirit or soul like that would not pass on?
There are multiple reasons. Give me a religion check.
Oh, come on, big number. Not bad. 14.
14. It could be a number of things. Sometimes ghosts have unfinished business. Sometimes they have severe regrets. Sometimes they just get lost trying to find the afterlife. And other times they are actually just cursed.
This guy seems like a pretty good guy. I don't think he's cursed.
I think you haven't moved on yet because you either regret what you did, even though you're trying to lie about it and say she deserved it or you had to, or you may straight up just be cursed.
Everyone in Barovia is cursed.
Yeah, but I
I'm
mean,
no
like,
different.
I mean, they're a lot different. Like, you're super cursed. Maybe.
Well, if you change your mind and you want to help, we'll be downstairs. I'm just gonna, like, with my fist still clenched, I'm just gonna walk out of the room. Do I recognize, like, anything? Like, would I be able to find Marina's room?
Yeah. You go down the hallway, towards the room where Marina's room is. You are fairly capable of recalling a rough layout of the place. It appears to be also completely destroyed, as the other one. There doesn't seem to be anything that's still intact in this room. It's all, looks heavily waterlogged and damaged by weather.
Would you say it was moist?
Sure. It's a little moist.
Nice.
I'm gonna still look around and see if I can't find, like, a trinket, or maybe she left a diary, or just seeing if there's, like, anything even small that's left.
Okay. Give me an investigation. $11? Okay. You find a small earring. Looks like it is made out of onyx. You remember them being part of a matching pair. Fairly expensive, given to Marina on her 16th birthday. You can only find the one, though.
I'll leave too.
I'll head back down.
Okay.
I'll tell the spirit before I go. If you killed your daughter, you have to come to grips with it one way or another, or you'll never leave this place. She seems like she's willing to help you with that. Maybe you should talk to her later. Just kind of awkwardly wave my wing and leave.
He floats backwards off into the wall and disappears as you leave the room.
Oh, I do that too. But like the other side of the room.
That way you don't say goodbye and end up looking at each other like, oh, this is awkward. We're going the same place. Okay.
Ooh, do
so
I see Ra?
Ra, did you make your way into the manor with everyone else?
Of course it did.
Okay.
Why would I hang outside in the cold?
I'll float down below the floor and then come up and grab Rob right in front of him. Ah!
Ah! Yeah, that's a closer to a yell.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Brother, I almost laid an egg.
I love this new trick I can do.
I don't like it. I mean, now that I know it's there, I'll be able to deal with it a little better, but...
Yeah, we'll see.
It's
Remember, you said it.
gonna be a problem.
Spirit guy is still not very happy.
Well, I mean, he is a spirit. Have you ever met a happy spirit?
Yeah, we were in that whole skullduggery. There was a couple of them.
Well, were they spirits or they?
I guess
like,
she was kind of
undead?
angry. But she liked to play cards. I guess she wasn't that unhappy.
I assumed it was more of a kind of they're partially decomposed.
Not the spirit girl, the ghost girl. Yeah, well, I've met a few. They weren't too bad.
Sometimes they can be stubborn. It's kind of was my whole thing for a while.
Start laying down, Lane. Sleepy bag.
Okay.
Okay.
What's everyone else doing? Just getting ready for a long rest?
Yep. Whenever I need to.
Yeah.
I'll take first watch.
I'll stay up with you. I'm gonna not really take a watch, but just kind of like look around,
Okay.
see what I can find in this. Is that
I'm gonna-
downstairs? Or
I'm gonna perch along the roof like a gargoyle statue and watch out.
Okay. Give me individual perception checks. One of you searching through the manor, and one of you looking outside. Okay.
oh, that's the one.
Yeah. The majority of this manor appears to be pretty heavily destroyed. There doesn't appear to be anything that... I mean, it hardly even looks familiar to the memories that appear in your head as you look around through the house. It's quite heavily damaged. Harkem is... Oh yeah, natural... Oh yeah, it's been a long rest since then. What is that one? Oh god.
Probably the best
lost
one she can
chat
get
log.
right now.
Yep. Next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw that you make.
Oh, I guess a 4 would be good, not bad, right? Pretty cool.
Harkem, as you are looking out over the swamp, it's a very still and quiet night. Not a lot seems to be going on here in the swamp. And then you notice a glint of something in the sky. Quick moving figure somewhere off to the north against the darkness of the sky. A flash of blue that seems to pass by. It's impossible to gauge how far or exactly what the shape is, but you see it move across the sky for just an instant, and then it's gone.
Like, what
Is
side was it?
miles. It looks like it's miles away. It's
Oh,
kinda
like,
small
like
from...
really high up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's way... Well, it's up and it's north. Like, it's up in the air a lot, like up against the clouds and far north.
What direction did it seem like it was going?
it looked like it was just moving around north. It was hard to gauge a direction or anything.
Okay.
Nakari, as you are searching around though, and you are going through these quick flashes of memories, looking for something that looks specifically familiar, possibly intact, you hear that same voice inside your head again. He should have to pay for what he did to us. He should be made to pay. Give me a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Okay.
You feel your hands start to move towards your axe, and you almost feel compelled to go up there, this wave of rage that washes over you when you think back to the memory of your past life burning, betrayed by your father. But you clear your mind, and you fight it off. Hold strong against it, and return your axe back to your hip. Are you two doing anything else for your watch?
I'm gonna leave the manor after that and go to the statue.
Okay.
I will watch over her then.
Okay. You see
Like
her
a gargoyle in the ruins.
You see her move towards the cemetery north of the manor, approaching a stone statue of what appears to be an elven maiden. As you see the two of them standing next to each other, you realize that statue looks a lot like her. Even though it is just a statue, it seems fairly detailed, and the facial features, while the ears are different, appear very much the same. What are you doing at the statue?
I'm just gonna kind of start like saying out loud that he's already paying and there's no point in doing anything to him. What happened can't be changed.
Okay. You don't hear the voice respond in your head, but you feel the anger and rage subside. And after the next, I don't know, how long are you two planning to take your watch?
2 hours.
2 hours? Okay.
I can take like another 2 hours because I only need 4 hours to return.
Okay. So Harkem, you take 2 hours, and then who are you waking?
I'll fly down from the roof, kinda loud enough so that she hears me, knows I'm going back inside. Ra, obviously.
Okay.
I'll flick his beak. Your turn.
I don't wanna.
I'll flick it again.
Okay. I'm awake.
Okay, Ra, as you set up for your watch, give me a perception check. Dresley, give me another perception check as well. Nakari, sorry.
Oh, wow.
He just has a list of all her previous lives, and he's just gonna randomly go through all of them.
Just gonna go through all the random lives. Okay. The swamp seems pretty quiet throughout the night. Nothing seems to come by or bother you. You really don't see any signs of life here in the swamp. It seems pretty dead. Not even a couple rabbits or wolves or foxes that you had seen scurrying about on occasion as you traveled along this Valech wood, or any swamp creatures that would be here seem to be present.
Creatures?
Odd.
Animals. I guess not creatures.
Thank God, that movie's scary.
For the most part, your watch goes by uneventful unless there is anything you want to do during this time.
But no, the only thing I really need to do is get myself a good night's rest. So I can achieve some points.
Okay. Another 2 hours goes by. I'm assuming that's the next watch swap.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he should have his full rest by now, right?
Lane wakes up
Or
from her
she,
trance
sorry.
Yeah.
after these 2 hours.
A long rest.
You're up.
I was never down.
It's never down.
Well, the only thing odd to report in is that there's weirdly no swamp creatures. There's nothing out there. It's just eerily very quiet.
Well, that's a good thing.
Usually, maybe. Maybe not. I'm off to sleep.
Is there a church near the graveyard?
I'm sorry, what?
Is there a church near the graveyard?
There does not appear to be any kind of chapel or church standing. But you know what? Give me an investigation check. If you're looking around for something like that. There is nothing immediately apparent. Okay. But as you walk off from the graveyard towards the different dilapidated buildings, the half walls made of stone covered in snow that dot this this swamp area, you do find inside one of them a drawing on the wall. It seems to have been carved into the wall first, into the stones, about 5 feet tall. This image, all in black, of a feminine figure seeming to come up from out of the earth as it looked here. Her hands come out to her sides, palms open and raising above her. It looks like a web seems to form over her head and connect between her fingers. The way that it is painted and carved into the wall also makes it look as if her hair defies gravity and floats up from her shoulders. You recognize this to have a lot of similarities with the drawing of one of the Fame.
The Weaver.
I'm gonna take my trance here since I'm afraid to go back to the manor.
Okay. Lane, as you wake up to take your watch, how long does that rat hang around for? Is it until dawn?
About it. Is it until dawn? I thought it was just 8 hours. Let me see.
Um,
Can't be used again until next dawn. When does it go away? It doesn't, really.
it has to go away. I feel like we figured this out and it was dawn. I want to say we figured this
Dawn,
out and
because
they
that's when the
disappear at dawn.
charges-
Yeah,
That's when the charges reset.
yeah, that's when the charges reset and that's when they disappear. Because we figured it out because the panther, you sold it.
Oh yeah.
So your rat follows you around on your watch. Give me a perception check as you are taking watch over the ruined manor.
Alright.
Okay.
26.
You see Nakari sitting out there under one of the, or up against one of the walls of the ruins as you scan your surrounding area. And it is eerily quiet. There is no noise from any kind of animals moving around. A sound here and there as the wind passes through the tree branches, just the scuffling of them against each other and the occasional clump of snow that falls down to the ground. But it seems Ra was right. There are no animal around other than Ivy, which hardly qualifies as an animal, and the rat, which is magical in creation. So it does seem a little strange.
We've
You
never
don't
been here
see-
before, right? I can't
You've
remember. I don't
not
think
been
so.
here.
Right.
You've not been here before.
Would it seem out of place though, given that we're in Barovia, that there's no wildlife here? I guess it would. We've seen wildlife in other places.
You have
right?
seen wildlife in other places. So it does seem a little strange. Give me a nature check.
Nature. Oh my god.
You a guy
There
who once saw a two-headed hog.
There are a lot of animals that hibernate in the swamp, but there are also other animals in the swamp that don't. So even though it's winter, it is reasonable to believe there'd be some animals out and about still. But there don't seem to be any, and that does seem strange.
Let's see. Let's see. What can I do? Can I cast Scrying on Glaciax?
Okay. That's a wisdom saving throw.
Yep. 19 DC.
Okay. That is a success. You are unable to pinpoint exactly where he is.
And 6. That sucks. Alright, well, can I cast Commune then?
Commune, yeah. Can you link it as well?
Just use
Get
up my
all these
spell slot.
high-level spells out the way to start.
Yeah, just as soon as I wake up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask, is Glaciax in the swamp?
Okay.
Could have told you that.
You feel a sort of warm breeze cut through the chill air of the night. You feel a calming and almost safe sensation from the air as it passes over you.
Is there something extremely dangerous in the swamp at the present moment that we should keep an eye out for?
You feel the same air cross over you again, this sensation that you're safe, and you don't get the sense that there's anything dangerous around.
Does Glaciax stay at the Argynvostold castle?
You see an image slowly start to come into your mind as you were sitting here focusing on your question. And you see an image of the ruins of Argynvostold. The stones slowly having snowflakes fall on them, and the bright blue orb illuminating the ruins and the entire valley. And then you see a shadow pass over the blue light. And then the shadow gets darker and starts to cover the light. And then cracks start to form along the surface of this orb as it grows darker and darker. And then it suddenly explodes outward.
Can I look up in the sky?
Okay. See a very dark night.
Still streaming light from Argynvostold to our north?
There is still
Northeast?
light streaming from the beacon to the northeast.
Well, so that seems like, yeah, having cast Commune before, that seems more of like a portent, like something we have to, we should probably do something before he fucks all that stuff up.
Could be a possibility that this was some sort of warning.
Okay. Well, at least we're not getting attacked tonight.
Okay.
Who's on watch with me, anyways?
No one else is on watch right now other than you.
Okay, if that's the case, then I'm gonna use. Jesus, here we go. I'm gonna use my Steps of Night, just one charge, and I'm gonna fly as high up as I can. Let's see, this gives me 1 minute, so 30 seconds. Fly as fast as I can, just straight up in the air, and see if I'm able to see Argynvostold from here. And I want
Okay.
to see if there's any kind of like signs of it being inhabited, more than just ruins. Like maybe there's some tents out there, some horses, or
So
some
like
shit like
literally
that. I don't
what
know
you
if I'll be
asked
able
me to do when it was slightly brighter out.
Yeah, but I can see good night.
Oh yeah.
It is pretty far away, so it's going to be a pretty high DC to make out much at the castle, or at the ruins, but give me a perception check as you fly up into the air.
Natural 20. Wow. Nope, 5. Fucking hell.
It's really hard to make out anything at the ruins. You don't see any movement around the ruins, but you're not sure if you're even close enough to be able to spot anything small. You do not see a dragon.
No same blue light that I've seen in the past, right? No, whatever
Right.
that. Okay. All right. No, just
But
keep an eye out.
the rest of your watch goes by pretty uneventfully, and Nero wakes up just before dawn. I don't know if there's anything you want to do with your couple hours before Ra and Harkem wake up. Nakari, you also, after 4 hours, wake up. That would be just before dawn as well. Are the three of you doing anything as you wait on them, or just waiting?
I'm just waiting. I don't really have anything I need to do right now.
Okay. Another couple of hours pass, and Harkem and Ra, you wake up. Dawn is upon us. I don't know where I was going with that.
Dawn is upon us.
I wanted to say like the dawn.
Dawn is approaching.
Dawn approaches as like the sun rises, but the sun doesn't. I mean, it rises, but it's behind a cloud of mist, so you just see a thick cloud of mist dully illuminated, marking the start of dawn here in Barovia. And as you all wake up, we are going to take a break.
Nice.
Okay, as we return in the Berez ruins, this manor that you had found shelter in for the night, inhabited by a tormented spirit. You find yourselves here at a little bit past dawn. What would you all like to do?
I'm gonna spend some time looking over the staff while everyone's wand while everyone's doing stuff.
Okay.
While we're all here in the room, I will recount the visions that I had given to me by the Raven Queen of the dragon assaulting the Argynvost Hold beam of light, and say that we should probably go that way if we can.
I'm still outside the manor. I'm gonna take that quick, do like a quick sketch of the things on the wall.
Okay. So you are all getting your stuff together, and Harkem is messing around with this wand. Harkem, roll a d6 for me.
A D6.
Yes.
4.
Okay. 4. A heavy, or as you wave the wand around in the air, these frosty particles fly around the tip of it, and you see a storm appear just overhead, about 20 to 30 feet out, and these huge chunks of hail start to fall from it against the ground.
Oh, turn it off, turn it off.
As you look over the head of the wand, this icy crystal at the tip of this very pristine-looking silver handle. The blue light that emanates from it seems to be pretty dim after that. And you feel like you're getting a little bit of an understanding of how this thing works.
So probably a little bit more time with it.
Yeah, a little bit more time with it. You're pretty confident. If you get a little bit more time messing around with it, you'll figure out how to get this thing working.
Put it in my bag.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait outside the manor for them to come out.
Okay. As dawn came, Lane's rat disappeared, letting out a final sad squeak as it followed around its owner, constantly seeking attention.
That was never
Never receiving it.
reciprocated.
Never getting it back. Completely ignored.
Oh.
He's the
While
meanest.
she floated up to check on things, it was just sitting on the ground looking up at her,
Come
With
back.
Mama,
flicking back and forth.
mama.
So mean.
So you all set off north. It doesn't appear to be much of a path as you start heading north, especially under the snow. But it doesn't look like anyone's been down here in quite some time. And you see what starts to appear to be a path. As you get further north, we're in the middle of the road seems to have sunken down, as noticed by the snow as you trudge on through. As you're walking along here, Nakari, trying to remember specifically when where the path that you had taken up to Argynvost Holt was, and you remember that night. It was dark. You had just gotten into a fight with some of Strahd's lieutenants, and they had just tried to kidnap Nyja. And a part of it really sticks out in your mind, this moment where Lady Angelina had tried to take Nyja with her, and you cut her down, and then her head was removed. And this image plays over and over in your head aggressively for a moment, and then it fades away as you suddenly remember this is the spot right here where we headed off through the woods.
Are you okay?
Just a lot of memories. This is the way we need to go.
Okay.
Lead the way.
I will follow her lead.
Okay.
Her we trust.
Nakari, as you're leading them through here, give me a survival check with advantage, as this is a path you have traveled before.
Ooh.
Okay. You remember the night vividly. rushing through the woods with Van Richten and the Vistani woman, Esmeralda, still exhausted from your fight with Fabula Saga and the lieutenants of Strahd, that though they were not all defeated and seemed to flee, it felt very likely that they were continuing to chase your group through the woods. And you knew the only potential safe haven that might exist lied up ahead at the castle of Argynvost. And it's with this same urgency that you lead the group now through the woods. After a few hours, which as you crest the hill leading out from the swamplands, Harkem, Ra, Lane, and Nero, you start to notice that the wildlife seems to appear, while sparse here in Barovia. You do notice the occasional rabbit or squirrel, even a couple of wolves moving distantly, but moving through the woods. As you get to the top of the hill, you're able to look down the hillside and see what you all recognize, except for Nero, who was not there, the cave that you had followed that witch to when you were here previously at the ruins. So you look out over the hillside and down towards the ruins. They appear to be the same as the last time you had been here. You do not see any figures moving amongst them, but you do notice the occasional globe of light flicker in and out nearby.
Do you recognize those globes?
You have seen them before.
Evil
here
fucking globes.
along the road. Yes.
How prevalent are they along the road? Are we gonna like run into them?
They don't seem to be along this path through the woods that leads down the hill. They seem to be floating around the woods, not far off from the ruin. So at least another mile away from you, but because they are blinking orbs of light, they're pretty noticeable.
Yeah. You said we can see the ruins from this point too.
Yes, you can see the ruins from where you're at as well.
Do we see a dragon flying above?
Give me a perception
Anywhere
check.
around? Dragon check. 24.
Does not appear to be anything really near the ruins. They look just the same as they did before. But something does seem a little off with the statue at the center. It was a large stone dragon statue that you had seen previously, but now the head of it seems to have fallen off. It's no longer on the statue.
How far away is it?
You guys are about a mile away from the ruin.
Oh. Well, continue on.
Okay, everyone continuing down towards the ruins then?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. You make your way down to the ruins and see at the base of the statue a sorry, got tongue-tied. The base of the statue, you see a pile of rubble. Seems as if the head might have fallen off and shattered into pieces.
Can I investigate the statue?
Give me an investigation check. Okay.
Another 24.
It looks like there are heavily dug grooves, about a foot wide, a single groove, cutting through this part of the statue. And looking at the angle of the groove and where the rubble lays, it seems like something very large and heavy struck the statue and caused the head to come loose of it.
I think that dragon broke the statue.
Why would he do something like that?
It's a good question. Does anybody have magic that can maybe repair this?
I don't think so. I know I don't.
I'm pretty good at solving puzzles in stone-like shapes.
That's
I almost
not
had that
bad.
other one. I almost had that crystal back together.
No mending for me.
No mending
I don't
for
have
me.
any magic that can fix it, but
Wait, so,
Connor,
okay, so we don't have mending.
No.
No.
I thought we had mending from that whole amber... Oh my god.
Oh, no, we didn't.
There was a lot of discussion and a lot of possibilities, but no actual.
The discussion about the
Solutions.
mending was ultimately that you would have to find someone who could mend, because no one had.
Vortec might have mending if we res him.
He's only gonna be a hand.
I feel like
How much
that's
can
not
he really
true
do?
either.
I think he did have mending. I know he didn't take identify because I wanted you guys to get cursed objects more often.
I like your style, sir.
Well, should we hang out? Set a trap? Look through the ruins?
Start gluing statue parts back together.
we can investigate the ruins and see if there's anything that they might be doing there to
Yeah, be a clue.
Yeah, I think we might.
Let's do
that's a great idea.
that. I go
Okay.
investigate the
trap.
ruins and search for traps.
You're searching for traps around the ruins?
Yeah, along the entrance.
Okay, give me an investigation check. Anyone searching for signs of the dragon, while he does that, give me a survival check.
I will keep an eye out for monsters of various
wow.
sorts.
Okay,
Oh
give
no,
me
here
a
it comes.
Yeah!
give me a perception check, Nero.
Or so I thought I said survival.
If you're looking for animals
Oh,
or creatures in the nearby woods, that's perception.
so close to a 20.
You see the small orbs of light. You fairly familiar with these undead creatures in Darkon. They're known as will-o-wisps. They're not typically aggressive unless they get in large numbers, and then they can occasionally become bold and try to attack an individual. But their numbers seem fairly small, and they seem at a distance for now.
I'll keep an eye on them still.
Harkem, as you search through the ruins, looking around, trying to find anything that might be trapped or potentially dangerous, maybe even left behind by another individual who has been here, you don't find anything that stands out like that. and it seems as if this place is pretty clear. Most of the rocks don't even seem to have been moved, though it's hard to tell exactly. It looks pretty much undisturbed since, other than the statue, since you guys were here.
Oh. It doesn't look like anybody's been through here.
It doesn't look like anyone's been messed with the ruins themselves. Lane, as you were looking around the perimeter of the ruin, looking for some kind of track or something like that, you recognize a strange pattern along the top of the snow. And while other snow has fallen since these tracks have been laid, this arched pattern seems to cause the snow to rise in a hill. And you know that this arched pattern is caused by a heavy draft of wind, kicking up something very soft and light, like snow. This pattern, or this arc created, follows a trend you're familiar with because you've seen it before in the Shadowfell, when seeing other dragons move along snowy mountain peaks. As their wind beats the air and they fly close to the ground, it kicks them up in a small crested pile. Judging by the size of these, you are certain it had to have been Glaciac. If not, it was a dragon at least as large.
So he was here. Probably gone now. Damn.
I'm gonna tell people. Oh, I have 2 more uses on this poison.
Thank you for telling us that you have 2 more uses of that poison.
I'm gonna tell everybody that the ruins seem clear and that it doesn't seem like anybody's been here since we've been here. And I'm gonna just sit down and start to make another poison while everyone looks around.
Okay. Give me a check with your poisoner's kit.
Ooh. Oh.
Okay.
18.
Are you brewing up something deadly?
Yeah.
Can I look over the statue with my painter supplies and see what it would take to, like, repair it normally?
Sure. Give me a investigation check with advantage. Harkim, you were able to make a dose of the poison
The fire
quite
centipede
easily.
poison.
Yes.
Alright.
I mean, is it possible I can just sit there with the statue again? Start putting the pieces back together?
You could do whatever you want.
Looking over the statue, Nakari, you have these memories of, though they're hard to place exactly where they would have been at in the numerous past lives that you've had, you do recall this image of a statue falling and breaking, the arm falling loose and shattering into pieces, and then another image of a couple days later, an individual seemingly skilled in this craft, putting the pieces of the statue back together and using another kind of stone adhesive, it looked like, to put the statue back together. It seems like short of using magic, the only way to do it might be through just someone who knows how to craft a statue, knows how to set something like this together.
Well, luckily, I practice.
He's already over there putting the pieces together.
Do 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 do.
Do you have any of that glue that is permanent?
No, I've been
That is very dangerous.
yes. For our kind, it's a deadly poison. How dare you? I was just gonna pack it
Oh,
in
if-
like
if-
snow.
If Rod has an upset stomach, I have some Alka-Seltzer from Dark
Oh
Hunt.
wow.
Oh my
No.
god.
You better sleep with one eye open tonight. Also,
I'm just gonna, I don't know, kind of say out loud, like to Law, but not directly to him, that there were statues that were made in Prez, and maybe we can get the person that made those.
okay.
Ra says with like half a dragon's head in his hand.
Okay.
But I'm almost done.
I'm nearly there.
When it's the wrong ear on that side of the head.
Yeah, it looks starting to look like a Picasso painting.
I'm an impressionist. What do you want from me?
Yeah, the eye's near where the chin is.
This is where human ears go, right?
I don't know, maybe
I'm
we can
actually trying to
think,
make it look like, you know, a bird.
He's trying to make the dragon look like a bird.
Better this
maybe
way.
we can take some of those pieces so he knows how kind of has an idea of what it looks like.
Is this not how it's supposed to look? I mean, I saw wings. I just assumed.
Give me an
Wait.
intelligence check to see how much it looks like a dragon, Ra.
Oh boy,
The little bit that you have started to put together.
Natural 20. Natural 20.
one. Natural one.
There you go.
It is a mess. It is basically a clump of rocks. None of them even look like they kind of fit together. And he's just kind of holding them together to form what might look like a face if you squint.
Susie loves
I like
Sylvia. I'll just, it
Yeah,
all just curls
the
back
only
down.
thing I'm trying to hold it together is I'm putting some snow there and like putting a piece, a little bit of snow, like as it was mortar, just with snow.
It is the ugliest snowman dragon.
You're doing
You've
more
ever seen-
damage.
Can I look for some pieces that have like detail on them, or like a guide?
That have what?
Like still have detail, like it's still kind of sculpted and detailed.
Yeah, there are quite a few pieces there. You can just grab one of them. They all seem like they're fairly detailed.
I've never been so happy in a natural one.
Oh,
True.
as you roll that natural one,
Fuck.
I forgot. Let's do that.
Thought it was only in combat.
The next time you or a creature within 30 feet of you makes any of those checks, you have to roll a d4. Until then, Ra, you feel this surge of energy inside of your body just pulsing through you, your heart beating quickly. You
While
feel
putting it
just
together.
amped right now.
This can only be a good thing.
Rampage!
Oh my god.
Around the statue and kind of like as close to under the light as I get, can I use Divine Sense to see if like it's consecrated land or if it's just normal or if there's anything showing that like something's happening to it?
Sure. You sense that this ground near the statue is not consecrated. Traveling around the ruins themselves, The rubble surrounding the building also does not seem to be consecrated. But you feel a pull just beyond the ruin, on the other side of them, coming from what you remember was a graveyard, and now covered in rock.
Ah.
It does appear to be hollowed ground.
Is that good?
Can I check around there and make sure like nothing's tampering with it?
It doesn't seem as if it's been desecrated in any way. It seems just buried by rubble.
I'll make my way back to the what used to be the graveyard over there is it's still hollowed, so and no one's disturbed it yet.
What does that mean?
It's still sacred.
So that's a good thing. Yes.
I think as long as it's sacred land, the light will stay up.
Yeah, I don't know what I saw then. Is when I used my commune, I was shown that it was being destroyed.
I mean, it is. The dragon was here. It broke the statue.
No,
I'm
but
sure.
it wasn't the statue. It was the light itself was being
Yeah.
destroyed.
Well, the dragon was here. I saw it flying around last night too. You saw it the day before. It's in the process. It's trying to do something. I'm sure it will come back.
I didn't see anything around where the graveyard used to be, like signs of someone tampering with it. But maybe we can find a way to do something to give it a little bit extra protection.
Yeah. I don't know if we can do anything right now. I don't have anything that I can do. But...
I have an idea on something, but it's gonna take me about an hour.
Perfect. And you're gonna do that right now?
Yeah, it's kind of like something I did for Sam a long time ago. Like, just gonna kind of wander off and look for like something to carve, a little
Something to-
dragon, like a little dragon figurine, or just something to cast ceremony with.
Okay. So, like, you're looking for a piece of wood to carve into a dragon.
Yeah, even if it's kind of crude, but just kind of
Okay.
like. And I want to cast ceremony while I'm carving it, and I don't really have like a direct thing, but just kind of like pour magic into it for like protection. Maybe use protection from evil and good with it, I guess. I'll burn forest spell points.
Okay.
While she does that, I'm gonna plop down, take out my tools, and see what I can do about turning one of these fangs into a dagger.
Okay. Looking over the fang, you're not entirely. I mean, I don't think you have any. You don't have any proficiency with a toolkit that.
Not like blacksmithing
No.
or anything, no.
Yeah. You don't feel extremely confident in your ability to craft a weapon that can hold up to any kind of prolonged use in combat. But you feel like you could probably make something makeshift if you were to want to attempt to. It could also end up damaging the Fang.
No, I'll just like try to figure out what I need then to make it better, or
Okay. You can reason that you would need to find someone skilled in probably blacksmithing to craft a solid handle, or maybe any kind of weaponsmith, really.
is there a toolkit for that?
I think there are smith's tools.
It's... Alright.
Remember Otto? That dude was able to do all sorts of cool shit. I bet you he's a blacksmith.
I could be a
Nikari,
blacksmith.
just for fun, Nikari, give me a dexterity check to see how well you carve the dragon statue out of the chunk of wood that you find.
You said just a check?
Just dexterity check, yep. Okay. It's pretty crude, but it's definitely looks serviceable. It's got wings. It looks better than
Do I have to do
Ra's
these with
statue. What's that? Oh yeah, sorry, Rob, roll a d4. As this surge of energy flies out of you and into Nikari as she is carving this stone dragon.
Hey!
Okay, a 4. So hey, it goes up. As it surges through you, you have this insight like, oh, the tail should be a little longer, and it starts to flesh out a little better than it originally started going. It's looking decent. It's definitely recognizable as a dragon. And where are you performing the ceremony at?
I was gonna probably do it like as close to where the graveyard was
Okay.
as I can get, because that's where I'm gonna try to hide it somewhere.
Okay. Trying to look at the cat, please. Okay. Is anyone doing anything else during this hour as Nikari performs her ritual over the buried cemetery of the ruins?
No, nothing that comes to mind.
I'll just start to get impatient.
I'll make another poison. I assume it doesn't take me long to realize, yeah, I need tools.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long. Okay, give
And
me another...
knowledge. I'm going to use... I don't know if you have that list available.
You get a proficiency. You can pick a proficiency every due day.
That's why I said I need knowledge, too. If you don't have that thing ready, I'll just do another fire centipede.
I have it right here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Then
ready.
Then I will use one of the nightshade leaves and see what that does, because I haven't used that yet.
I don't like that Control F's not working on this PDF, though. That's frustrating. Okay, at least it's alphabetical order. Okay, give me a check with your poisoner's kit.
18. Don't mind that one. It's actually a 10.
I think you've rolled the most ones tonight.
Yeah, tonight for sure.
You have no trouble crafting this poison. Nightshade, fairly common poison herb. You can coat a weapon, a slashing or piercing weapon, and up to 3 pieces of ammunition. Creature hit by it must make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw or take 1d4 poison damage. It is a basic poison. I think that's actually in the compendium.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic poison.
That's the only option for it?
Yes, with the poisoner's kit.
Throw out my other nightshade leaves.
Yeah, here it is. I will put that there, so...
My background lets me make a better poison than that.
Yeah.
Or not my background, my feet.
Okay, Nakari, as you complete your ritual, you hear this, you feel the ground beneath you shake very lightly. A very light tremor passes underneath your feet, and this low growl.
Oh no.
And that's it. So that's all.
I'm not nervous at all, guys.
It was a good spell.
What's up?
That's right, it's push to talk. I'm gonna use a charger my boots because I want to make sure there's none below me.
Okay. You do not sense any movement whatsoever as this pulse flies out from your boots, returning the information of what might be underground to you.
There's nothing alive below you. Alright, so where to next? The tower? Or should we wait here for the dragon to come back and set up a ambush?
I'm gonna, like, for extra protection, put the silver Morning Lord symbol and find somewhere to hide this little figurine.
Okay. You find a spot here in the rubble. There are plenty of places you can hide it under the rocks or just near the rocks. It's not like any cupboards or anything to hide it in.
Like, I just don't want it to be, like, easily found.
Right, I got you. Yeah, you can move some of the rocks around, put it up underneath them, chuck it into a safe space in there.
In about an hour, I'll fly up and search around again.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Pew! Dragon check! Ooh. 30.
Okay. You look out, you can see just beyond the woods to the north is the Svalich Road running parallel with this side road before the side road curves back into the Svalich Road. Um, you don't see any dragons. You see the will-o-wisps at the edge of the woods. They haven't approached any. Their numbers actually have seemed to thin out and start to move away, blinking in and out through the woods, further away from you now. It looks like a pretty empty place around you right now.
Fly back down.
Okay.
Ooh. So what's the plan?
The tower, I think. I'd like to pick up that book and then head to Krez, right? Are we still doing it?
Are we carrying the book on
Yep.
us? I thought that was a liability.
Well, it's in a metal box. And it takes a Morning Lord symbol to open.
Oh. Do we have one of those symbols?
I'll pull out my golden one.
That's an odd-shaped key. Well, let's go get this book.
Okay. Everyone heads off from the ruins.
Rob, put the
west.
statue down.
It's done.
West back towards the Zvelich Road. As you are traveling along, you notice a couple of wolves along the edge of the road. They walk seemingly together, moving quite silently through the woods, almost as if they're hunting. But these creatures are rather large, standing 5 foot, 6 foot tall at their back. They almost look to be hunting something through the woods. And then they disappear from view. And you don't see them again. And you continue on your journey west. And then you
So-
see another pair of wolves.
Are we like friends with the wolves now, or are those friends of yours? Do we know them?
I think they're just wolves.
And wolves are friends, right?
Wolves are dangerous in large numbers.
Where do they look like they're going?
They're just stalking through the woods.
Not us, right?
They don't seem to be stalking you specifically. They just look as if they're moving quietly through the woods, searching.
The same direction we're going?
Possibly hunting. These wolves look very similar to the other wolves that you had seen probably about 30 minutes before this. But they all look like wolves, so they could be different wolves.
I'll just keep an eye on them. Try to
Okay.
see what they're hunting to, or what they're stalking.
See them moving around, sniffing the snow, darting in and out between the trees. You don't see any rabbits or any animals that look like they could be hunting, but they could be hiding. After about 5 minutes of seeing them in the woods, moving around, they move off further deeper into the woods north. After about another 30 minutes go by, you can see the fork in the road that connect to this village road, going west and east. You hear a loud howl off in the woods back a little bit to the east, where you'd come from, off in the woods. And then you hear another one further off down the road to the west. And then a couple more.
That sounds like a large group, and you said that's dangerous, right? Can I fly up? Still daytime, right?
It is still daytime. It's
fly up
it's
and
about noon.
Get a better vantage, see if I can see anything. Hopefully we're not.
Sure, give me a perception check as you fly up.
Ooh.
Okay. You look out through the woods. You see back towards the east. You see that pair of wolves that you had seen previously off in the trees. One of them looking around while the other one lets out another howl. And then as you hear another sound off to the west, you can vaguely make out a shape of one of these large wolves standing in the woods that howls back. You can hear that the sound of the next wolf that howls is even further off to the west, but you can't make out any figure through the woods. And then you hear yet another howl also seems to be further off down the road.
Doesn't seem like there's anything around them, they're just yelling.
They're just howling.
Can't talk to wolves. We'll go back. I don't know what they're doing, but they're definitely talking. I think.
I think they're just trying to figure out where each wolf is.
Maybe they found what they were looking for.
The first one that howled was the one to the east, right?
Yes, the one
and then it was
that
a
you
chain
had
going
crossed.
to the west.
Yes.
How far away was that one to the east?
The one to the east, he's about, I don't know, 15 minutes, roughly about 15 minutes back down the path you had went. That's where he looked to be when you spotted him.
Should we go check out what that first one was yelling about, or continue on?
We're probably fine, right? Just a bunch of wolves. I think we can handle it if it does get crazy.
I mean, they might have found something, or maybe they need help, or maybe they're evil. That's why I said, do you want to go see, or continue on?
I think we should just go.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Worst. Everything starts getting a little weird. We can always, me and you can always do a quick little flyby.
Yeah, you're right. We're traveling at a slow pace, right?
Not very fast. Yeah, you have one horse, so you have to keep pretty much walking pace.
Yeah. Alright, you guys continue on. I'll be right back.
Are you dashing back towards the wolves?
Yeah, I'll double dash all the way to the one to the east. Probably like above the tree line though, so not in an
Everyone
ambush
else,
if there is something weird.
Everyone else taking the Zvalich Road west as he goes back.
So I'll like behind him a little bit, just in case.
Okay, you're going with him.
Actually, with his, what's your fucking speed?
50?
Yeah, never mind. I'll
60,
say, me and Rob will go look real quick. I forgot, even with my 3 dashes, or my 2 dashes in normal, you're still faster with 1 dash. So yeah, Rob, come check it out with me.
Okay, the two of you fly back quickly along the along the path towards the direction of the wolves, where you had last seen them, and you see that they are moving through the woods now, sniffing along the ground. One of them seems to spot a rabbit and quickly rushes off towards it. You know what? So he pounces out towards it and snaps his jaws on snow as it quickly bounds out and down into a hole. It growls angrily. And then they sniff the air around them, look over towards the two of you flying nearby, and rush off into the woods deeper.
Oh, I give them food. I thought they were hungry, but...
Okay, wolves being wolves.
Wolves being wolves. We'll drop We'll drop a half a day's ration.
Okay.
In the snow. Maybe they'll go back for it.
Okay.
A little bit of dry jerky. They like jerky, right?
And the two of you fly back off towards the rest of the group.
I'll race you back.
Yeah, sure, if you want to lose.
I punch him down. I punch him in the chest and take off.
Not gonna stop me.
Yeah, you're super fucking fast. Even if you, especially if you do your monk bullshit.
As Harkam, with his slight head start in front of Ra, takes off, he sees Ra surpass him quite quickly, and actually beat him back by a pretty wide margin because of the distance. You catch up with the group a little bit west down this Zvalich Road. You're all going to where exactly? The tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell them that the wolves seem very hungry, and that might be a problem. If they're looking for food. If they're looking for food, we might be on the menu next.
Well, we can keep an eye out for them and just be aware of them.
Yep. I'll keep an eye out for furry boys.
Okay, give me a perception check. As you are making your way along the road.
I fed the lead one though, so they'll probably be nice to us.
Oh my gosh, this is a mess, isn't it?
My life?
No. The
Yeah.
tower.
No, you said it got mixed up. Did you ever fix it?
No, I didn't ever fix it. It's fine.
What did you do to the tower?
Why does Nero's token always change to Vortac? Like, can I get an explanation here? Because I have to constantly change his token every time I place it out. And I'm
Nero
changing
and
it
Vortac are
in the
basically
character
the
sheet.
same person.
It's foreshadowing.
Okay. It takes a few hours, but you make your way up to the tower just a couple hours before dusk. As you are traveling along the road, and you get to the fork in the road, you hear, or the one that leads north towards the tower, you hear another howl from the woods, not far off. Another howl lets out, and then a couple more further down the road, the west. And as you take the fork off to the north, and start traveling up towards the tower, you hear two sharp howls from down there by the fork. Really long, drawn out, higher pitched howl than before. Only the one, or only those two, and no more.
What was that?
You think maybe we should go to Kresk first and ask Raylan what the hell's going on with his kin, or whatever they are?
I can message him. Sending. Message doesn't quite reach.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Have I always known you could do that?
She has done it before.
Can you send a message to Raylan? Tell him the wolves are going crazy.
I will use sending and say, how many words do I have? 25, right?
25.
I'll say, Raylan, the wolves in the Svalich Woods, right?
Svalich Woods.
Svalich Woods. That sounds like so many words.
Now you're just wasting
Are
them.
going crazy.
And-
What the fuck is happening to them now? Also, how is Strahd? How
Good more.
is Valaki?
Yeah, one more. One more word.
Nerd.
Nerd.
Poopy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Nailed
You're walking down the road up towards the tower. You hear back. Kresk is fine.
I don't think we
It's-
asked that.
He. Oh, he asked. Didn't you ask how was Kresk?
Yeah, it's how
Yeah, I did.
blocky was.
Oh,
No.
did you ask?
Yeah, I
how
didn't ask
Valak-
about. I didn't ask about Kresk at all. I asked about
Oh.
Valaki. Yes.
Oh, I thought you'd asked about Kresk. Okay.
Yeah, fuck Kresk.
I mean, that's kind of like his town.
That is the town he's.
Yeah, but it's
In
guarded
charge
by
of
like
it.
100 werewolves. They're fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, then he says, I do not know how Valaki fares. I don't know what Strahd is doing. The wolves are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. You should tend to your business in Barovia and leave as soon as you can. All
Wow.
of you.
Wow. Raylan doesn't like us anymore at all.
What do you mean?
He pretty much said he hated us.
That doesn't sound like him.
Well, he told us it's none of our business and we should leave, bro. Basically.
And that's the thanks we get
Well,
for
I live
defending us
here.
down.
Well, he said all of you, so you're included there too, Dresley, unfortunately. No,
Did it-
Kari. Sorry.
Did
Wow.
it sound like he was himself? Did it sound like he was lying?
Was he lying? No. What? How are you gonna be lying? That's how he felt. Did he feel like this was not a normal Raylan? Probably, I would say. But I don't think he was lying. Something is agitating.
What's the lunar cycle right now? You might be catching him at the wrong time of the month.
Oh.
It's almost a new moon.
Yeah, so he should be the most Raylan.
Yeah. I don't know. He was not happy with us though.
So I
Whatever.
guess we can talk to him when we get there, because
Sounds like we don't have to
where
go
the
there
Weaver
anymore.
was.
Oh. That'll be interesting. I don't know if we should... Oh my god, the place is moving around.
Sorry, I accidentally grabbed it trying to move the map.
I don't know if we should go back to Kresk. It doesn't sound safe.
Doesn't sound like we're welcome
Doesn't sound
there.
welcoming, yeah.
Did you find out did someone steal something? Like, why is he so angry with us all of a sudden?
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe he just
We were
doesn't like
there.
having voices sent into his head in the middle of the night. Or
I
this
mean,
early
we-
in the morning.
we were there, we
It's in the
left.
Early in
afternoon.
the morning.
We were there, we left, and then Strahd went, and now he's sad or not happy with us. It's not that hard to tell.
I still
Something
think
happened
it's
there.
important that we go there. Figure it out. We need to go
Alright.
by that witch's hut.
Well, we best be on our guard then when we go. There's a lot of werewolves there. That may not be as hospitable.
We can just tell him we'll return Ivy.
Should we bring him like a welcoming gift, or what do wolves like? Meat?
A whole cart full of steaks.
You finally make your way up to the tower, the large stone lion statues that jut out from the side of this enormously tall tower. Pipes along the outside of it chug away bits of steam being released into the air around them. You see up at the top floor from the windows that torches or lanterns from inside are illuminated and the light shines out through the windows. What would you all like to do?
I'm gonna go inside.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna go inside.
Okay.
Do you remember the dance?
Why would I forget it?
It seems very complex.
It's right there on the door.
That is fair. Ooh, can I try it?
I'll like gesture for him to go ahead.
I try the dance.
Okay. It's fairly simple to mimic the stick figure motions and steps that are on the door as you stand in front of it. Have that connection together. It has no problem. Door clicks open.
Like that dragon dance in Avatar.
Sort of. I don't know.
I need a partner though. Rah.
I am here.
Double
get-
bird dance.
Double bird dance.
Do we like
Fusion
turn
dance?
over? I was just to say at the end, do we touch her?
We do
think-
touch fingers at the end. Yeah, I believe they
Alright.
started at. Yeah.
Alright, I'm ready. Let's do this. Fusion!
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
That's what the stick figure. It goes clockwise from the top around. So it is sort of like the fusion dance, actually.
If by somewhat you mean exactly like that, then yes.
Except you don't touch tips. I mean, finger tips.
But can we?
You
Oh,
might
yeah,
not,
you can.
but we
Can
will.
we touch wingtips while doing the finger dance with our hands?
Yes, you can. It does not seem to register your wings movement.
Perfect.
So there is no fault there. And as the door opens up, you hear the chains grinding as the large clay golems animate at the bottom and start to lower the elevator down. You hear a shout from way up in the tower. Akari, is that you?
I'll answer him back in the morning.
Okay. Okay. Now, come up here as quickly as you can. We have something we need to discuss.
Oh man, that's certainly true.
Alright, be there in 25 minutes.
Maybe let Nakari go. I'm sure they have a lot to talk about now. Right?
I'm gonna stop by my room first and get that lead box from the chest.
Okay. You get the lead box containing the tome of Strahd and then go up to the next floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watch her as she slowly descends up.
Very slowly ascends.
Oh boy.
As you finally get up to the top of the tower, you see the doctor busy at work. You see a large, almost silver-looking spear. Very strange and jagged blade at the tip of it, leaning up against the wall. It has a lot of wires running off of some machine that he has constructed at the base of it. And he says, yes, I think I've found it. This object was brought to me by guards from Volaki.
Oh no.
They claimed that it had the ability to tear through space and time. And after some looking at it, some real investigation, I think that I have uncovered how to make this work. I think I can take us out of Barovia. We could go to Lomordia, like I'd always told you about.
Are you doing a Mordia?
I'll have to with you the morning, but I think there's something that I need to finish here first.
Is this about the friends that you've made? Or your memories? It's the past. You should let your memories go. They're not worth risking your life. This place is very dangerous. Strahd is very dangerous.
I know, that's why he needs to be stopped. I remember being Joseph.
You see very sudden change from this this look of excitement and joy that was on his face to a kind of defeated look. Oh. That is wonderful for you, Dressley. I'm very happy you were able to accomplish this. And then you know that Strahd is dangerous and a very serious threat to you. And that pursuing him could end very poorly for you and your friend.
I know, but I made a promise. And I need to keep that.
If that is what you wish, then we will go to Lemordia afterward. And we'll stay here for now. But we cannot go back to Vallaki. I have had enough of that bull-headed man, Isaac. He has demanded too much from me now, and I refuse. I refuse to take part in his insane plan. The undead have been assaulting their walls constantly, every night. It seems as if the horde that you said was attacking Kresk has shifted off. Now assaults Vallaki. And they seem incapable of holding them at bay for too long. Isaac, in his desperation, has requested that I help him to make alchemist fire in extreme amounts so that he can burn the dead away. I've tried to explain that such a thing is extreme and dangerous to the citizens, but he doesn't want to hear it. So I've come back here to the tower. I feel that our shop might have to be abandoned. I'm sorry for your investment in it.
Well, you got everything you need from there, right?
Of course, I did not leave anything behind. Except for the useless knickknacks that we would sell to the superstitious. Only I took anything of scientific value that they might misuse. Of course, I left any potions that they might be able to use to recover their wounds, give them the best fighting chance that they can, even if it is hopeless.
Okay. I think you're right. I think it's best if we stay here then. I met a friend, Lane mentioned her to you.
Yes, this construct, a golem, like the ones downstairs.
Yeah, but she can talk and she can move and she makes drinks. But some of her I don't know what to call them really, parts, I guess, are kind of old and damaged, and I sent Oseus to pick her up and escort her here. Hopefully she'll come.
Or Lady Robot Bits.
Well, it will be quite a interesting thing to see. I don't believe I've ever seen a thinking automaton before. In Lemordia, I had told you of these several different mechanical constructs that walked the streets, but never one that had cognizant thought. You sure it's not just programmed to say certain responses that it actually thinks?
I think that you would like her when you meet her.
Perhaps. I look forward to this.
Oh, we found some money. Let me go get it. Maybe it'll help with, like, getting anything you need to fix it.
I think for the time being, I might have little need for funds, as I won't be going back to the town, and there's nowhere really out here for us to spend it.
There's always the Bastan.
That is true. They do like coin.
Oh, I lost the cart, so I'll pick up another one.
No. Carts can be easily made. What about all of your friends? Did they return safely as well?
Soon enough.
5 idiots in a swamp can make a cart.
I'm gonna give him a hug and go back down.
Okay. He gives you a hug back. He seems to hold it for just a moment, and then he kind of pats you on the back and straightens up. Yes. Thank you, of course. You see him take a cloth heavily stained with blood, usually setting over or used to cover the table that sometimes he has to perform medical procedures on guards that got injured on the road. And he takes the cloth and he tosses it over the spear in the corner. We'll just put that, put a pin in that for now. Until after Strahd is gone.
I'll make sure you're able to get home.
You descend back down the elevator to the rest of the group. What are you all doing? This is Nakari's up there. Is anyone doing anything other than just hanging out in the bottom floor?
I
He's
will
not
just
up
be
there for
looking
very long.
around, taking in all the weirdness of the tower.
Okay.
How long is she up there for?
I don't know, about 5 to 10 minutes, plus the trip up and down. So another
So like
5.
45 minutes?
So another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So about 15 minutes total.
Oh, no. How far? Do I remember how far the anti-magic barrier was, or was it just in the tower?
It is in the tower, and it seems to permeate out about 10 feet, I believe Lane found out.
Oh, I was gonna go out anyway.
Oh yeah, because I sit out. I would
Yeah,
probably have not entered the tower knowing that
Okay.
actually. Because I sat outside of it before.
Yeah, sure.
While I was out there, I will try and figure out what the mysterious lantern and the pearl does. I don't remember getting these.
Okay.
I don't think I was the one that took them, but if I did, then
They were with the
That's-
they were with the bag of trick.
oh really?
They were with
I
your
think I just
bag of
took
tricks.
They were with your sack.
my sack.
He was so excited about his sack that he forgot about the other.
I don't think I took them. I don't think I took those though. I think I just took the bag of tricks. Anyways, I'll sit out there and mess.
You had
with it.
detect magic up and recognize
Oh,
them. That's how
okay.
you found them. Yeah.
All right, I'll figure out. I'll sit here and mess with the lantern and see if I can figure out what it does then.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, that's gonna be
A natural 20.
a natural 20. You're goddamn right.
Choo
If I can
choo,
find my character
motherfucker.
sheet. Arcana check.
Yes.
1 second, real quick. I'm gonna give myself guidance.
Okay.
So what does that? Gives me a D4, right? Arcana, boom.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
a 9.
10 plus a d4.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
13.
3.
Okay. You pull out the lantern. It doesn't appear to have any. It doesn't have a candle or a wick leading to some kind of fuel source like an oil lamp seems to have. And so you kind of shake it around, mess with it a little bit. As you're looking over it, it turns on. A bright blue light emanates off from it. The light that glows off of it seems to look a little familiar. Kind of like the orbs that were flying through the woods near the ruin.
Ooh.
It glows out about as bright as a torch. And it has a hood. Seems like you can cover the light easily if you'd like to. And that's about all you're able to figure out about the lantern. But the pearl, I will say, with a 13, and because it's fairly simple, this pretty hideous looking pearl that has almost these. It has these craters in it that make it resemble a sunken-in face, frozen in a scream. And as you look over it, you kind of recognize it to be similar to another object you've seen before, the aura of magic that permeates off of it. Oh, goodbye. The magic that emanates off of it seems to resemble that of an object that would allow the user to breathe underwater while they have it.
That's cool.
Hold on, I will put it in your inventory.
I go out further into the road away from everybody and I play with my wand.
I do too, but I do it in the bathroom where no one can see me.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
To be fair, the tower does have a bathroom.
It is called the Drowner's Pearl, and it is in your inventory.
Nice.
That sounds like a cursed item.
Okay, roll a d6 for me, Harkem.
Tree.
Okay, a 3, a bolt of frost shoots out from the top of the wand into a nearby tree trunk, coating it with frost. I gotta open up your character sheet too. And I have put it in your inventory. You feel that there is a variety of different spells you might be capable of casting with this. But also that extreme use of it could end up in its destruction.
Ooh. I assume it doesn't really have any charges left on it either.
see, it used Sleet Storm, which was 3. Oh, it used Sleet Storm yesterday. So it has recharged those. And then 1 for a Ray of Frost.
I think
So-
I used it as soon as we woke up.
Oh yeah, you did use it as soon as you
Yeah.
woke up. So 3 and then 1, so it's got 3 charges left.
Oh, attunement required.
Yes.
So 3 left. I think there'd be like a tracker on it to let me know.
Yeah, you'd think.
But I will put it over here. Somewhere. I'll join everybody else too.
Okay. So you gather down here at the base of the tower.
Do you want me to put them too?
Yes. Yes, this is after you're returning back down.
So Dad said that Velocity is getting attacked by undead.
Yeah. I feel
He's
like
gonna
something's
stay
going on with
here.
Raylan. I feel like Raylan knows that and refuses to help them.
Well, Dad's not going back to Velocity because I guess Isaac is wanting to do crazy things. I think that if we take care of Orthos, it'll take care of the undead.
Orthos. I mean, Raylan's Kresk has been attacked for how long, and has Valaki sent help? Why should he send help to them?
Yeah,
I'm
that's true.
curious if Chris is still getting attacked.
He said that they weren't the last time, ever since
Yeah.
that one night that they didn't get attacked.
Yeah, I do. I doubt that they're getting attacked anymore.
Since Dad's not going back to Velocity, there's one more thing I need to get, and then I got the books too. I'm gonna go to the cave and get that other green gem.
Okay. You go down to the cave where you and the doctor harvest the majority of your materials for alchemy. You see the green gem. The doctor had just kind of shoved it into the wall here, buried it a little bit. Fairly easy to pull it loose.
I'm gonna take that and any like ingredients
Okay.
that's down here.
We'll go over the ingredients after.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, now you have a another one of these gems.
So we still aren't president?
If you have business there, we will attend you. You should get the book.
I did. I don't know if we should do it kind of in the open, maybe when we find somewhere a bit safe. Because, like, when we read it before, it seemed to kind of suck us into it. It's hard to explain.
That doesn't sound good.
It was interesting.
I do love interesting. Well, should we go to Crest then? Or spend the night here?
How far away is Crest from the tower?
I believe Kresk is. Hold on, let me give you an accurate measurement. It is about a full day's travel to Krez from the tower.
Are there any, like, of those guard shacks?
There is a guard shack, just past the bridge to the west. So that would be about half the distance.
There is a place along the way that if it gets too dark, we can stay for the night. We still have some daylight left, if you want to use it.
Let's go. Unless anyone has any pressing matters.
The quicker we can get done here, the quicker we can take the heart and all the other pieces and destroy them, or whatever it is we need to do.
The trial at yesterday.
Yeah, the trial, the heart.
That will be the closest one now. Though I don't know I like the sound of a trial.
I believe Blaine can do it.
I hope I'm not doing it myself.
Onwards.
Okay.
And
You make your way back south down the road to this Valich road. Connecting with it, you start to head off to the west towards the bridge. You do hear another howl as you get to this fork and start to head off towards the west. You then hear it picked up off in the distance beyond the bridge. Another howl. And then another further down the road. And Harkaman Lane, with your sharp ears, hear
Burgles.
another one somewhere echoing further down.
Oh my god.
And every time we've been on this road before, have we ever heard wolf howls?
You've heard wolf howls in the distance, not like this, though.
Has Raylan lost control of his pack?
That's gonna be a problem.
Welcome back.
Don't you agree, Ra?
Yes. Without skipping a beat.
You continue west, and just before you get to the bridge, dusk falls around you. It becomes dark, and just before the light started to fade from the night sky, you can make out the structure that Nakari had been referring to. A small wooden shack off of the side of the road. The remnants of what looked like a campfire just outside of it. You lose sight of this as the darkness falls around you, though. And you continue west, starting to approach the bridge. As you do, you all start to hear a strange assortment of sound coming from the nearby woods. Flapping of wings, and these screeches. Bats. A lot of bats. Somewhere flying around through the woods. Seeming to come from both sides of the road. But never quite approaching the road. As you cross the bridge, now Lane, with your ability to see fairly well in the dark, you're able to start making out the outline of the shack just ahead. As you pointed out to the others, you hear another howl go up from somewhere in the woods, and then more further down the road to the west.
Do they seem to be getting closer?
They don't really seem as if this howl is any closer to the road than the last one. Roughly around the same distance out, somewhere within the trees, within the nearby woods.
Is it like super aggressive? Like, are they obvious? Is it like obvious that they're fighting, or?
It just sounds like a howl. Just a long howl, followed by another one further down the road to the west, and then another one.
So is it like they're trailing us then? Like they're just keeping an eye on where we're at?
Sounds like they're fighting bats in the woods.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. But if it doesn't sound like they're
You
fighting,
do hear a lot of bats in the woods as well. But
right,
you don't hear
goddamn it.
any snarling or growling or sounds like that from the wolves that would signify that they are attacking the bats or being attacked by them.
Just wolves being.
We're gonna die by vampire wolves.
Oh gosh.
So we need to go. Somebody needs to go in the woods. Harcam, I think you can do it. Just like be very careful. I don't know what you would be looking for, but I can make you invisible if you think that would help. But I think we should go and see what's going on at least.
I am always invisible. I slide out of his sight.
I can literally see you right now.
I have like very, very high perception.
I
Give me
slide
a
out of his
stealth check.
sight. That's supposed to be with advantage. Where's the thing? Oh, my boots aren't working again.
Oh no.
Oh. Alright, I'll scroll again.
Oh my god.
Still 25!
That's impressive.
Nice.
You can give me a perception check if you'd like to, Lane. But he definitely surpasses your passive perception in the dark.
I'm
Oh my
invisible.
He just slinks off into the shadows
I
of
put
the
on my
woods
black
nearby.
cloak.
Okay. You move out in the woods towards the sound. You see oh my gosh, are you guys just trying?
We're getting him out of the way in case we gotta fight.
I don't see him either.
Not in case. For when?
You see two wolves out here in the woods. Probably about 50 feet off from the road. You can see from the way that they're walking that they appear to be moving west through the woods, sniffing along the ground as they move. You also see flying through the trees what appears to be black leaves almost, with how
hate
thick
black
this
leaves.
cloud of bats is that flies through the branches.
I'll keep my I'll keep to the trees and out of sight, especially from the bats, and
Okay.
see what the wolves are doing. I'll take out my
Okay.
bow, ready it just in case.
Okay. What is everyone else doing as Harkam is off in the woods?
Becoming
I'm
one
just
with the
keeping an eye out, making sure that listening for the wolves to find out if it sounds like they're getting any closer,
or they're eating a bird.
or if I hear any bats squeaking, or
Okay.
feel free to use my last perception check.
It's pretty dark out here. You hear bats everywhere, and it is hard to make out any specific sounds over the noise of their wings and breaches.
All right, this is going to be a little outside the box, but just bear with me here.
Okay.
I don't
How
want to know.
similar is my dampirism to Morbius?
I've never
Can't-
seen it, but I would say not at all.
Can I control bats?
Is it Morbin
No.
time?
It is not Morbin time.
Can I use Divine Sense if I have any checks left? I don't know how many I used at Oregon Hospital.
You would have had to use 2, I think. I don't know how many you have.
6.
Oh, then yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like walk around trying to get close to the guardhouse, but using Divine Sense. And it goes
Okay.
up to 60 feet.
Okay, you continue your travel towards the guardhouse. Extend out your senses. You don't feel anything, but you still feel on edge. Nervous from the bats and the wolves and their strange behavior. And you do it again. And you feel something just at the edge of your sense. Some sort of undead creature, but it appears to be almost like several undead creatures. And up in the air,
Oh no.
just off to the south of the road, the direction Harkam had went in.
Harkem's
Oh,
a zombie.
He's surrounded by them.
It's a swarm of undead bats.
Or Harkem is dead. Undead.
Am I dead or undead?
Well, you have to be dead before you become undead.
That is true. Like, that's solid logic. You
Oh,
do
that's
have
why
to
the
become
first one
dead
didn't
before
pick
you
up
become undead.
anything because I was dead, and then the second one picked it up when it was undead. Okay.
It makes you feel any better. Nero's probably closer to undead than dead or alive. Whatever sentence makes that make sense.
I'll go back and tell them that there's undead everywhere and in the sky.
And you said Harkam out there? What is wrong with you?
Oh, I wish I had message. I should have sent him a true sight. That's what I should have done, so he could see exactly what the hell is happening.
That would have been badass.
Yeah.
Can we retcon that?
I see everything.
I see everything.
So, yeah,
Do I
that's
see?
what we
But
should've done.
really though, do I see anything else as I go up?
You see the large swarm of bats and
I said I was gonna
the
follow
wolves.
the wolves. You said they were going more
Okay.
west, sniffing, right?
yes, they are sniffing along the path as they go west. And then they just seem to stop and wait. They're just kind of sitting here in the snow now. One of them looks up at the bats, growls, moves away
Insight
from
check.
them. Insight check? Go ahead, roll an insight
Does it
check.
sound like? What does it look to me like they're doing? I've been around wolves a bit now, right? I kind of know what they do.
Give me an insight check. I feel like it might
Hell
be nature,
yeah.
but I'll say
I'll do
insight
nature.
for at least this interaction.
They're both about the same.
They that wolf seemed pretty off-put by the bats. This behavior of these wolves is pretty strange. You don't know exactly what they're doing, but they just seem like they're waiting.
I wait too to see what they're waiting for.
Okay. Everyone at the road, what are you doing?
Waiting on word.
I'm waiting for him to be waiting for waitingness of waiting.
Okay. So everyone's
on
just
my brother.
waiting?
He should be back by now, guys.
I am preparing an action.
What action are you preparing?
Eldritch Blast if any of those bats get close enough.
Okay. You hear a few minutes go by. The flapping of the wings continues. Harkem, you can see these bats kind of just circling in and out of the trees, just about ranging from anywhere from 40 to 80 feet out away from the road. They seem to be doing kind of a big slow loop through here.
Figure 8.
What's that?
Like a figure 8.
Kind of like a figure 8. It doesn't really seem to have a specific pattern, though. They almost like they're just kind of moving around in a
Erratic.
erratic motion. You see the wolves sometimes look up at them as they pass overhead. After a few minutes, one of the wolves makes its way over towards the or closer towards the road. It stops, sniffs the air, sits back on its haunches, and lets out 2 long howls.
Have I learned enough wolf talk to know what that means yet?
You'd heard it earlier, but you're not sure what it means.
Yeah.
Um,
Does it seem like the bats and the wolves are in cahoots?
it does not seem like the wolves like the bats being around them. The wolf then walks back to the other one, and they both just kind of lay down there in the snow. Looks like one of them starts to drift off to sleep while the other one's kind of just looking around.
Alright, I'll go back.
Okay. You make your way back to the group.
There's a lot of bats out there. The wolves are being weird too. They're like looking for something, or waiting for something.
Maybe we should get further to the guard post and find out more when it's daylight.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I'll make sure the guard post is unlocked, not trapped, and safe.
Okay, give me an investigation check as you make your way towards the small shack off the side of the road.
Pew. Oh, come on. Yeah, 27.
It does not appear to be trapped or locked.
Slowly open it and look around.
Okay. You see inside this fairly small shack, probably about 10 feet by 10 feet square here off the side of the road. Or not 10 feet, 20 feet by 20 feet square right here off the side of the road.
Does it
There's
smell
a-
like death?
It smells like sweat and
No, that's good.
a little bit like blood and
Oh, not
a
good.
small amount like piss. You see
Normal?
you see 4 cots fairly used.
Occupied?
No, not currently occupied. Sitting in the room, as well as a table at the center with some chairs. Just outside the door, it looks like there's a small stone half wall that curves around a fire pit that has been previously used. There's a small stack of firewood nearby it.
I'll ask Nakari. Are there supposed to be people in here?
And no, it's just kind of like if a caravan or something gets stuck out too late, it's just supposed to be like a safe place for the night.
Oh. Okay. Open the door.
Okay. Also, you would notice on the inside of the door, there are several different carvings. It looks like a lot of the guards have come through here might have carved their names into the wood, but also quite prevalently at the center of the door on the inside, and with no names or words carved around it, a symbol like a rising sun, the symbol of the Morning Lord, is carved into the inside of the door.
Ooh. I will carve nearby it in Thieves' Cant. I will just say danger.
Okay.
And then my little like HK. It's kind of like an H and a K, but they're like smashed together to look like one weird symbol. That's my signature.
I gotcha.
Do it 47 times.
Not AK, HK.
HK.
Okay. You make your way into this small shack off the side of the road and begin to set in for the night as darkness fully envelops the lands around you. The animals of this village woods now acting rather strangely. You set in for the night, and that is where we are going to end tonight's session.